Andres will give you the. Let's go.
Okay.
We'll just go into the middle of the conversation.
Do you want me to move those purses? It's fine.
All right, we are live.
That's not good.
On YouTube. First of all, I want to apologize for everybody who's tuning in. That was a debacle to try to get on here, but we're here. And Caitlin.
Hi.
Why don't you take it away?
Hello, everyone. So, again, thank you guys for hanging in there for 21 minutes of technical difficulties that we made it through, and we are here. We're so excited. So I've been seeing so much Chefpreneur, just so much about Chefpreneur on my feed, and I just needed to know more. So when you need to know more, like, what do? You go to the top, right? So here we have Andres and we have Brock, and a little bit about these guys. Like, Andres is the CEO, like the head man in charge, just doing all the things to bring our personal chefs just incredible content, incredible trainings, and changing their lives. And we have Brock, who is the operations behind everything. He does an amazing job at just making sure that we're providing everything that we need and everything that you need to succeed. And more than that, like, these guys have such a heart for community and truly a heart to serve those they care about. And we all have such a passion for the personal chef industry. Andres can tell you a little bit about that soon. But we really wanted to, just come on and tell you guys all about what's coming up. But first, before we get to the big exciting things, we have to talk a little bit about where we've been and what's been going on behind the scenes for a long time now. So Andres, do you want to share a little bit with us about what it was like in the early days of Chefpreneur?
All right, the early days of Chefpreneur. Yeah. Thank you for that intro, Caitlin. I appreciate it. So back many years ago when I first started basically personal chefing, I started realizing people started asking me really how I was doing what I was doing. So kind of back up a little bit. I'm not going to give the whole kind of background story on this, but to a degree, when I started my first company, which was Picada Latin Cuisine, it was a catering business, farmer's market business, setup shop. I left a six-figure salaried executive chef job to really actually go all out in business, basically, in entrepreneurship. And within 6 months, my wife and I lost our townhome. We lost pretty much every bit of savings we had. And it really took a turn for the worst. And we ended up moving in with my sister. But over the course of a period of time, through a couple private chef jobs I had with some really wealthy individuals, I started realizing, man, I really like this kind of going into the home and cooking for people type of thing. And then I got another bad break. The gentleman that I was hired because I was trying to get out of my sister's house with my wife and 3 kids at the time. I was trying to just get on my feet and get something stable coming in. And so at that time, I was only working for this gentleman as a private chef in his house for just like 3 months. Traveled to New York with him, flew privately. It was a pretty sweet gig, but it didn't last very long. He was moving to Texas and the Bahamas, and he was going to go back and forth. And I was in San Diego, and I didn't want to relocate. And so really, I stopped working with him. And at that point is when I really started, I guess you would say, starting to try to figure out a way to be a personal chef. And so for me, as I started to go down that journey, I started really focusing on business principles, how I sold, communication, systems, and there was no plan for it. I literally read over 300 books in the first 3 years of my business. That sounds crazy. It was all audio, so I can't say I read them fully. There was a lot of them I did read, but I listened to the books over and over and over and try to apply everything I learned into kind of a condensed thing. And throughout that, people started messaging me on social saying, hey, I see you in Hawaii, I see you here, I see you there. Like, how are you doing what you're doing? Like, what are you doing? Who are you working for? It started with people that I knew, and then it ended up in people that I didn't know kind of asking me. So really, it kind of hit me as an epiphany, like, okay, my business is expanding. I wanted to expand our personal chef company, but, you know, I needed more chefs. I needed to bring on chefs. And I had this idea of like, let's go and get chefs all over and start contracting chefs. And realistically, what happened was, we put this plan together, and Brock kind of came into the picture. That's kind of where Brock came a little bit more into the picture is, again, this was like pre-Chefpreneur. We're still kind of figuring out how to grow the personal chef company. And all that being said, I was like, okay, we can create this big personal chef company. It's going to, we're going to be able to like go to multiple cities. And really what happened was, it was like, you need money to do that. You need capital. And we were looking for investors. And that's where Brock actually came in. And he's my cousin, actually. If you can't tell with our faces, we look a lot alike. Not really.
Yeah, we look very similar.
Yeah.
I gotta just say, it's kind of funny. I don't know. For some reason, my mind kept going, like you're talking about, oh, you just went all out, really went all out in the business and everything, flying around in private planes and things. I'm thinking, meanwhile, this guy's living with his sister. He's like, really went all out.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
true. Hey, I don't care if I'm
showing
in
people
a private plane. I got to come back to my sister's
from Hawaii.
house.
I see you in Hawaii. Yeah, I see you in Hawaii. I see you here. I see you there. I also saw you at your sister's house, by the way, as well. Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that part of the story there. So what happened was we pitched to some investors.
It's really
we pitched to some investors and for Dinner with a Chef, our personal chef company, and we basically got the big old goose egg. I think they secretly laughed at us when they left the meeting, or they're like, these putzes. Whatever, it doesn't matter. There's a little even side story with that. We won't go into the details, but let's just say a couple of them got arrested for embezzling millions of dollars from the company they were working with. So God actually protected us on that one. But they basically said no, and it was actually we had a charity event the next night where they were going to do like a meet and greet these executives from this company, and me and Brock were like, yeah, we didn't get enough punishment like when they basically said no to us the night before, so let's go rub elbows with them at this charity event. So we went in the charity event and pretty much got a second goose egg, kind of like, why are you here type of thing, was how I felt. But on the ride home, we were feeling pretty defeated, and in that moment, I said, how do we get more chefs that can come on board with us, but at the same time, like, build a network of chefs? And that's really where it started. And I said, what if I get a lot of people asking me how I've done things and starting in the personal chef space? How do I maybe take that and help people, but by helping people, kind of create the byproduct of having a network of amazing chefs? So I was like, maybe if I just start mentoring and coaching some people, we'll do that. So we launched a podcast first, and we came up with the name Chefpreneur in Brock's car on the way home at midnight from that charity event. And I said, Chefpreneur, like chef entrepreneur, and it stuck. And we love our name. But that's where it all started. And then I started coaching from there and started our first iteration of our program. And now it's been over 5 years, and we've helped over 1,000 people in programs that they've invested in and helping them start a personal chef business. So I know that was kind of a longer thing there, Caitlin, but just wanted to kind of give you the full shebang.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for going into that detail. I felt it's amazing to hear where you guys have been, and then to also get to know just a teeny bit about where you're headed. I think that it's really awesome that y'all came up with that name in the car. That's really awesome. So what else is new, Brock? What do we have? Do you have anything you want to add to what Chef Andres just elaborated on, or what? Can you tell us anything else?
Well, first off, I love technology. And I don't know if you guys can even hear me because it seems to be very delayed. Okay, good. So I'll just talk and pretend that your faces are the same rate. So it's interesting about the name Chefpreneur is that it's been a name that's been around for, I don't know how we have that. Chefpreneur is ours. That name art was a pretty crazy process. I was very surprised to know that Chefpreneur was not something that anyone owned. And we definitely have that price tag. 500 domains, and was just sitting on it for probably a good 12 years. And we had to wheel and deal with this guy just to buy the website domain. And we got a little encouragement from somebody who said, I'd pay $100,000 for that name. We didn't pay anywhere near that, thank God. But I remember we had to go through that whole rigmarole with this weird guy. He's got a whole Reddit thread dedicated to him, just in hate and spite for how many domains he owns, and trying to get people to pay him for those. But yeah, we did. It came up in the car, and very late night, and then my remembrance of that whole thing was, we dinner, by the way, it was really good. Some good barramundi. Andres did a great job. I remember that Russian model, that guy's girlfriend or wife or whatever, and she was like, the creme brulee, and she didn't want to eat the what was it? She didn't want to eat the sweetness of it, but all she ended up eating was the actual, was it the top? The actual sugary part?
Yeah, something like that. It was like,
do you remember?
Yeah, she just wanted to eat the topping off of it.
Yeah. Whatever floats your boat.
Because she wanted to be healthy. And so it was just hilarious that, she was just all into her looks and everything, and she sat there and ate the only sugary part of the creme brulee. Anyway, so that got created, and then it was, not long after, I actually was working my career in technology, and Andres and I actually, at the beginning, he started the podcast, and I said, you know what, like, I think my career is really, really taking off. Like, I think that that's probably the route that I need to get. Potential there for me. I'm growing through it. I'm raising through the ranks. I just became depressed. Like, it was just terrible. The next 2 years was I just wanted out. And COVID was really when things started taking a turn, wasn't it, Andres?
Yeah.
COVID, and it was a wild year for COVID for all of us. But that COVID really just set us up for a lot of success. The personal chef business kind of took that dive, but then it really started taking off. And we went to that conference, remember, in Nashville.
Yep.
And it was the funnel hacking conference.
I convinced him.
Yeah,
like, you're coming to Nashville with me, but at the time, like,
he got me. He hooked me.
You were kind of.
I think it was Tony.
Probably Tony Robbins. Yeah.
I think Tony Robbins convinced me. Yeah, I think it was Tony Robbins, because I sat there and I was kind of like, it's Tony. I was like, this Tony, it's not real. Like, it's not, like, come on, like, you can't get me hyped up. I was probably the most excited people there. After Tony came out on stage with his big banana hands, he's just clapping. He's got those tubes and he's banging them together. And I shamelessly got into it, and loved every bit. And I ended up making a declaration to leave my job tomorrow. Was it 4 years since I left corporate, and have been on ship.
Awesome. Wow. So brave. So brave of you guys to have done this together.
Yeah. It's been a journey.
Psychopathic.
It's been a journey.
Definitely. Okay, so talking about journey, let's go ahead and let's talk about the future journey of Chefpreneur, and how you already told us how you obtained the name Chefpreneur and the whole little path you took to own the domain, which is pretty crazy. So we're using a hashtag coming up for with this new stuff we have going on. It's going to be hashtag Chef Better. Okay, so I've seen that. I know just a little bit about it, but can you tell me more about what that is and what that means?
Yeah. Why don't you?
I'll take this one
with that, Brock.
Can I take that
exciting.
one? Yeah. It is. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, there's certain, I guess, how do I explain this? Um, there's beliefs, there's belief systems built behind the best in entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship and chefpreneurship, there's risk involved. There's a lot of responsibility. There's so many different things that go through our minds. There's doubt. There's feelings of angst and imposter syndrome that go through a lot of people's minds when they think about starting their own business or running their own business, and not taking orders from a boss or a business owner or anything like that, and being the business owner themselves. And when you think about chefpreneurship and just chefing in general, there's been a traditional kind of path to being a chef in the industry for decades, if not, centuries, where you go through the ranks. There's the old brigade system. Mm-hmm. The industry has often painted a picture of having to pay your dues, rising through the ranks, then owning your own restaurant. And a lot of times owning a restaurant tends to be the all-time dream for chefs, to be able to have their own restaurant. And it's honest, a lot of that comes with so much pain and toil and struggle. Chef, being a chef has been celebritized a ton in just the last few decades, through TV, through awareness, through our internet and connection, and just everything that the modernization of the world, and being able to access information. Really dark parts of the industry have been kind of swept under the rug and cut up with this glorified kind of way of being a chef. So we created the Chef Better campaign, and the message that this right here, just our belief from it. But in the last 4 years, what we've seen as a result of chefs who have been through the program, chefs who have been in our community and are pushing in this movement, being their own bosses, owning their own personal chef business. It's a combination of being a personal chef, the personal chef business model, the movement itself, our community. It's a better way to chef. And we use that chef as a verb. It's an action. Chefs are some of the hardest working people that you'll ever meet in the industry. And we need a message. We need a message. We need a mission. We need people to understand that Chefpreneur is much more than a business that offers education, resources, mentorship. It's a community of people who share in that identity and know that what they want to do is to have a dream that doesn't require them to break down their bodies and suffer from being screamed at and yelled at, which is, again, another thing made famous as though it's like just accepted. That's just, and I think, give me if I'm wrong, and maybe there's people that are listening that's like, I think that people have almost tricked themselves into going, I love that. That's what I love about it. I love getting screamed at. I love the fact that we got to put in 80 hours a week. And I believe is that it almost becomes this thing that you almost just, that's the only thing you can hold on to. Because the dream's so far away now. It's like, that's what I had. And maybe some people do. I mean, the industry, it's just, it's crazy, potential, and it's been celebrated as like, that's the rough and tumble of the industry. And I think people have been almost tricked and brainwashed into thinking like, that's the beauty of it. Right. And I don't know. I think from belief that you can have the best of both worlds, being able to exercise your passion and not being called a donkey.
Right, right. There's so many things that I love about what you just said. The main thing is like the community aspect. That it's very easy to feel like you just said that it's a norm in the personal chef world or in the chefing world. But what I love about Chefpreneur is that you guys are giving chefs an opportunity to step out of that norm and create a new norm and live in an actual and function in a community, which I know is at the basis of what you guys believe in your heart and how you guys live out your life as leaders in this company. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, Brock, for taking the time to explain that to us and just give us that insight. That's awesome. Andres, is there anything you want to add to that?
I mean, in a nutshell, this industry, there's a lot of amazing things that you get from being a chef, and there's a sense of, I guess you would say, excitement to it, as Brock was kind of mentioning. Like, people wear this badge of honor, and to a degree, I don't want to say that people grow up, but for me personally, I can't speak to every chef out there, but a lot of the chefs that I have talked to, it's really difficult. We go through a lot of hardships in our life, and I feel like chefs are tough. We're tough people. And I think a lot of times why people wear those badges of honor in the industry is because I think, they don't have maybe an understanding of what the other path is. And in any path you take towards entrepreneurship and working for yourself and being your own boss is going to be hard. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak. However, I think that if anyone on the planet, any kind of demographic of any person that can be an entrepreneur, it's a chef. And we have gone through, as chefs, the entire community of chefs around the world go through day in, day out of hardships, struggles, but there's also moments of like bliss, of being really proud of what you've accomplished, in the sense of like even your food as art, running and managing a team, the excitement of the rush of being on the line and having a booked out restaurant on a Saturday night and doing 300 covers, and one cook calls off and another cook, slices their hand, in the middle of service, and, and the back waiter doesn't show up, and you're running food as a chef and you're expediting. And then if you're in a hotel like I was, then server starts kicking off at like 9 o'clock, and you get the second rush, and it's tiring, but it's also really rewarding. However, I feel that the chefs have kept a lot of the traditions alive of feeling that excitement, but I feel that the industry itself has dwindled more and more. I think there's a degree of companies that are really not, I feel like chefs were kind of, excuse my language here, but kind of piss-ons for a lot of their careers and a lot of time in the, in the world and society. But then you have Food Network, and it brings the stardom of chefs out there, and people get this whole, allure of, I want to be a chef. And then you get to the real world and you go to get interviewed, and they're like, yeah, we're going to pay you $12 an hour. And you're like, I'm 32 years old. Like, I have 6 years experience. That's what we can afford. And as Brock said, a lot of them are living in poverty. They're stricken. Yes, there's still a lot of chef jobs that are six figures, executive chefs, so forth and so on, but it's not the normal. It's the less than 5% of it. And so that chef better, in a simple term, as Brock said, it is a verb. It's an action. It's like, we are chefing better because we're going to do the work anyway. You're going to work anyway. You're going to work and put your heart and soul in everything you do as a chef anyway. Mm-hmm. And the fact of the matter is like, it might as well be on something that's going to build your legacy, something that's going to build your name. And I really believe if enough of us do that, it's going to force the industry as we know it to pay attention to us, to recognize our talents, and they're going to try to reward us. But by that time, together, we'll be rewarding ourselves. Because our clients are what really rewards us. Even people in restaurants that work in restaurants and chefs, like, the customers are the ones that reward you. It's not really the company necessarily. And so, but the problem again in restaurants and hotels and even large scale catering companies, there's a middleman between you. So the chef isn't allowed to kind of go there. And I think that's encompassing what Brock said and adding on to it. Chefing better is a statement that's we're using as Chefpreneur. That's one of our kind of hashtags and kind of mottos now. But at the end of the day, that's for any chef that's looking for something better for their family, for their children, for their future, for their career. And we just want to be a part of it. We want to be a part of it, and we want to lock arms with you. And we all need to chef better.
It's almost like wonder if, like what we see with influencers, and we can understand that pretty well, to go, well, there's all these influencers and stuff, and they're on YouTube, and we only see the bright shining stars. We see the Mr. Beasts and the Joe Rogans, and with podcasts and channels and different things that millions of hits and viewers. And as like a lot of times young teenagers, they grow up and they go, viable dream, and those people possible. However, it also creates this thinking it's easier.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We might
Gotta
have
love
lost,
technology.
Did we lose Brock a little bit? I think we might have lost him. I think he was having some connectivity issues here.
We lost him for just a minute. Hopefully he'll get back on with us in just a minute.
Let's see.
All
Right. I think we got him back on. Brock, it looks like you were cutting out pretty bad with some connectivity issues. We got you back on here. And he's gone again. All right.
Gone again. So just to kind of, elaborate a little bit on that chef better, it really seems like you guys are trying to create this community that has like a shared lifestyle. Personal chefs all have a very similar pace of life. And this Chef Better movement, this hashtag Chef Better, is going to give them that true community, and it's going to be a lifestyle for them. So Chef Better will end up being, how they live. It's there. It kind of checks all the boxes for them when they're, serving people at an event, or that one-on-one relationship with their client. So I love that it's not just something that they can take and just mark the box, that it can truly transform how they see what they're doing and what they love to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, there is so much happening inside of Chefpreneur, like tons in the pipeline. I can barely sit still when I think about all the things that's coming up, just the tiny bit that I do know about. But what is coming up in the near future? So we have this hashtag Chef Better. We're looking at changing things a little bit more and impacting more personal chefs and doing more. So what's happening in the near future? Chef Andres, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So we are going to be having a massive summit coming up. But really the future is bright in regards to what Chefpreneur is doing. But we have this contest, and what's amazing about this contest coming up is that it's going to really give you guys an opportunity to win a scholarship to the Chefpreneur University. Now, we haven't disclosed the Chefpreneur University to anybody publicly yet. This is the first announcement here, so you're getting the major announcement right now that we are launching a Chefpreneur University. And I won't go into all the details. You'll need to tune into the summit, which I'll give you those dates here in a minute. But I will say that we're going to be having a contest, and we'll be posting even in this chat in the comment section after this YouTube. We'll be posting it. Make sure you follow us at Chefpreneur Official on Instagram. In our Facebook group, we're also going to be posting it. So basically, we're going to be running a contest, and we want to hear from you, your story, really where you're at. And there's going to be some contest rules and stipulations. Again, we'll post all those here. We won't go through all that right now here because it's a little too much to go through. But what we will do is we're going to have, again, a contest where you can win a full scholarship to Chefpreneur University. And again, we don't have the launch dates of that. We're not going to disclose. Well, we do, but we're not going to disclose those today. And we're not going to go into tons of details about what the university is. We got to keep you kind of edgy here on your seat, but really get to really tell you that this is really about that community-driven basically community-driven, and access to expert-led instruction really in our university. So again, we're going to be having a contest. So that contest
stuff.
What was that, Brock?
Did I miss a bunch of stuff?
You did miss a bunch of stuff. I know you're back.
I missed a bunch. I almost want to just punch my face through the screen on technology.
Yeah,
bro.
technology.
Like,
listen, we were late showing up. It's probably not the best, but hey, listen, we're here with you. We're excited. And honestly,
so what was the updates like? What's going on with Chefpreneur? What we
still having a hard time hearing him here.
Just silence. You can't. All right, keep going.
Yeah. So we have that coming up. So we will have details about that contest again in the comments as well below. And then we're also going to post that all over. But make sure you follow us again. I'll put that in the chat. Make sure you follow us at Chefpreneur Official on Instagram. We're going to be doing a lot of things there. And we're going to be announcing that winner on July 10th. Okay, so again, I'm going to just type in here, follow us at Chefpreneur Official on Instagram. And now one last thing that I wanted to tell you guys is you guys need to make sure that you are submitting this. And really, we just want to make sure that we're hearing from you specifically on who you are, your story. And again, the contest kind of guidelines will be here. We'll be posting those shortly. But again, that contest ends July 7th. July 7th is when that contest ends. So these are some dates for you. July 7th. That is when the contest officially ends. So we're doing it for a full week. So it's starting today. And you guys need to be, if you guys want, a possible full ride to the university, which is going to be amazing. Again, if you want to know what the university is going to be all about, we're going to be hosting a summit on July 15th. Okay. And we'll have more details coming out on what time we're going to be hosting that summit. But this is what's really important for you guys to remember. So 7th and 15th, right? The contest ends the 7th. On July 10th, we will be reaching out to the lucky winner of that full ride scholarship to Chefpreneur University on July 10th. So if you did win, you'll hear from us. Specifically, we'll be reaching out in a private Instagram to you from our Chefpreneur account at Chefpreneur Official. And then again, on July 15th, we're having a summit. Now, July 15th, what is the summit all about? It's all about the vision and the future of Chefpreneur, as well as we're going to give you more in-depth details on what the university is all about and how it's going to add, tons of value to you, but also there's going to be a lot of value that you're going to get from the marketplace. And so I can't wait to disclose that with you guys. Brock, it looks like you're back. Again, we're just talking a little bit about the summit. Can you kind of speak on that a little bit as well, Brock, on kind of some thoughts on the summit of why they should tune in?
I'm so afraid to speak because I just don't even know if it's going to work or not. I've been sitting here the whole time listening to you, but it's like almost not wanting to show me. So apparently technology hates my face, but that's okay.
You're a handsome
I'm just
guy
excited
over
about
there.
it. Yeah, I'm just excited about the summit. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you now. It seems like your connection is pretty solid. Let's not.
Well, I had to go for my
jinx it.
phone instead of my laptop. So I'm just excited about the summit. The summit, there's going to be so many details that I think we're going to talk about. There has been a lot of things going on in Chefpreneur, and I think maybe you guys covered some of that. You know, we've been working hard. I know we know that we've been working really hard on the university and the structure of it, how we can better drive results for students. But not only that, it's really the community. You know, the university is that it's a place where people belong, you know, and they can feel that sense of belonging, that they have that dream, that they have a chance to be a business owner, to get into entrepreneurship, or to find ways to fix what they possibly think is broken. You know, sometimes you get into business and you can't quite figure out what it is that you're doing or not doing, and you just need some of that outside help. I'm really excited about the community part. There's some really cool concepts and things that I know we've been brainstorming on for the future of Chefpreneur that is going to give them outlets like creatively. There's ways of being affiliates. There's ways that's going to be opened up for people to potentially be actual partners in the movement. I'm really excited about the fact that there's culinary schools and colleges, you know, other universities and things that actually teach on cooking that we can potentially become affiliated with and partnered with in order to help grow the next generation of chefpreneurs. And I think what's really exciting is anybody who's a member that joins in on this and locks arms with us has that opportunity of making an impact in those kinds of people's lives. Because it's one thing to do this as part of just wanting to start your business or to do a business. It's a whole other game when you're actually driving change, like real change in the culinary industry, that has much more to do than just your business, and that you can be affiliated in that way and actually be have a part to play in making change and creating outcomes that literally shift the whole industry. So I'm excited to talk about what it means to be an affiliate, what it could mean to be a partner. I'm excited to talk about the new updates that are coming to the software, and we'll do some demos on those things, and we'll unveil, I think, a whole lot more because there's so many things going on. And I think people will get excited about what it means to be a chefpreneur, and not just excited about, oh, you know, they provide this or they have this. I think it's really more about, hey, where's our movement headed? And what does the future look like for the movement and for everybody involved? And so, and we're going to make it easier to be involved. To be honest, we've been coming up with some things that create lower barrier of entries. Whereas, you know, traditionally in the industry, it can be rough to like be able to start something without huge upfront costs, investments, you know, like restaurants, food trucks, on the business side, but let alone culinary school. Andres, you dropped a pretty penny on, you know, going to culinary school. I think a lot of people have,
a lot of money,
and they kind of walk away, you know, scratching their head. And I think that's for a lot of us. I think we ended up going into college because the prior generation we were like, you go to college and, you know, and change the world that way. And then you get in, you start going to classes. You spend most of your time, like me, if you did, you know, going to parties and raving and just getting to know the pretty girls on campus. And pretty soon you're done with college and you're not really doing anything with it. You don't, there's nothing, you know, your dreams are kind of like these smoke and mirrors, and you come out and you just come out with this like heavy sack of debt. We wanted to do it differently. So we're going to do it differently. It's going to be non-traditional and actual worthwhile and meaningful. And so I'm super excited about it. The summit's going to unload a whole lot more details. And I'm excited about this contest. I think it's going to be really interesting to hear these stories. So, you know, don't be shy. Paint a picture. And some of them might be a little, you know, might be hearing some vulnerability and things, but the industry and the people need to hear it because there's a lot of chaos going on in the industry. And so, you know, be light to everybody around you. And that's ultimately what Chefpreneur is we are not the be all end all. We just are wanting to be that community in that place, that conduit, to allow you to do what you really want to do, to allow these chefs to really come in and be a light to the rest of the world. So if that sounds like something that you guys are, or if anybody's interested in that, and wants to be that light and knows that we can't enact change individually, but we can do it together, like, this is the place for you. You belong here, and we would love to have you.
Thank you so much for that, Brock. We were able to hear a good bit of what you said without any connectivity issues. So praise God for that. So just really quick, I know we can't go into much more detail because you've already given us so much insight as to what's coming with this summit. But just go ahead and talk about like what this Chef Better contest, what this is, and how can people enter it, just so they know how they can enter it one more time, and where they're going to find that information, and what date that is, just so we're clear. Do you want to go, Brock, or who wants to chat about that? Andres?
No, I'm so scared of going. Andres, you got it, buddy.
Go ahead. Take it away, Chef.
All right. So basically, the way you're going to enter this contest is you're going to be commenting on a post on our Chefpreneur official Instagram account. And again, we're going to give you all the details because it's a little bit much to really say that. But basically, you're going to be telling a story. We want you to share it with people as well. Kind of tag people who want to also, think that they would, other chef friends or other passionate cooks that that would be interested in the university and interested in building a personal chef business. So we're going to have all of those details coming out. And posted. Like I said, we're going to post it in the comments here on this live on YouTube. We're going to post it in our Facebook group. Unfortunately, our Facebook page got hacked, so we're dealing with that. But we're also going to post it on our Instagram, which again is at Chefpreneur Official. So make sure you follow it there. And you'll have all the details of exactly what you need to walk through. So basically, you're going to follow us. You're going to share your story, and you're going to tag 3 friends, pretty much in that order. Again, there's some hashtags we want you to use. We want you to tag us as well. So again, there'll be more of that specifics. In fact, I will post it here in the live chat while we're here, just so you guys can see it.
Yep.
And put it out there to you guys. So actually, awesome. It won't let me. It's too long. So we will post this as a comment here when we're done with this live, but we will be putting that on Instagram. So basically, again, you're going to follow us at Chefpreneur Official. You're going to share your story on your culinary journey, your passion, why you deserve the full scholarship, really, and some hashtags to use. Like, I want a Chef Better, Chefpreneur University, Chef Better, things like that. And then we want you to tag 3 friends that you think that would be interested or would love to hear about Chefpreneur University. And again, the deadline is July 7th. And again, we're going to pick one person. And then on July 10th, we'll reach out to you personally on Instagram to let you know that you're the winner. And then again, July 15th, we're going to have the summit, and we'll go more in depth on what the university is all about and the vision and the future of Chefpreneur.
So this summit, this virtual summit, is something that you do not want to miss. You definitely want to be there to hear more of the hearts of Brock and of Andres, and just get there, get in the room, even if it's something that you've only dreamed of. Just put yourself there and just see how it can serve you. So I really think this has been great. I think you guys have given a great insight to what's going on, where we started, where we're headed. But I think we don't need to go too much further, because if we keep talking, we're gonna go ahead and virtual summit right now. So, exactly. So anything else you guys want to add before we close off?
Absolutely not. No, I'm done.
I think that's it. I think that's a wrap.
I gotta go pray. I gotta go pray and kind of like pray about my anger right now with my internet. Drive me crazy.
We will pray for you as well, Brock. We will lift you up in prayer. That you
Thank you. I'm turning red.
From this internet issue that you have.
Awesome.
But thank you guys so much for joining today and just giving us a little bit of your heart. And thank you for all you're doing in the Chefpreneur world. And we'll see you guys at the virtual summit. But make sure that you get in on that contest because you're not going to want to miss it. Once you hear about the university, you're going to wish that you had entered the contest for that free tuition. And just we'll talk with you soon. We'll see you guys and very soon. You're going to be amazed at what's coming up.
Yes, thank you guys, and thank you for your grace with technology. We appreciate you guys all.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
See you soon.
See you soon.